good afternoon and welcome to Inside News. It's our 29th meeting. It's a show on the mark. Myself and Shaheel are going to go through the card with you as best as we can. We've done a little bit of homework, hopefully find a couple of winners for you, and hopefully we help you with your selections for Saturday's racing. It is our 29th meeting, just less than 2 months to go, so we're going to try and make some money before Christmas, Shaheel.
That's right.
Let's start off with race 1. It's a 0, 20, 16, 50. Never easy to find winners in these 0-20s. I suppose Social Network does stand out in this particular race. Unfortunately, he's not the most reliable horse on this planet. Just have a look at his form. He won and then he ran last, and then he came out and absolutely thumped his field last time, Social Network. He is a horse that likes to go out in front, and if you have a look at this particular race, it looks like he will get to the front quite easily, Social Network. Obviously, he's dropping down to 0-20, so he's going to be carrying 5 kilograms more. He's got top weight of 61.5, but I know this horse very well. And I can tell you he's got plenty of ability, this horse, but he's a sort of horse that just, when he comes to the races and he's not in the mood for running, he's not going to run. So Social Network, suppose he is, on paper he looks like the right horse, but just be very cautious with Social Network. Shaheel, anything on Social Network that you can tell us or tell the viewers?
Yeah, right. Like you said, it was an impressive win last time. I mean, probably the jockey made the difference too. Manuel Nunes perfectly timed his run on him. He won by 3 more length. The only concern I think is the weight tomorrow. I mean, he'll be carrying 61.5. It's a massive weight over 0-20. Like you said, no real front runners on paper. He should be able to lead. Drops to a 0-20. I noticed that he's 2 from 2 over the distance. He's won twice over 16.50 this season. Should be the horse to beat.
Yeah, to be fair, well, not to, I mean, let's be honest, it's not the strongest bunch of horses he'll be taking on. Unfortunately, if you don't know by now, I'm sure you will by the time we show this, we do our show, but number 3, 7 Oceans has been withdrawn, and I actually thought that 7 Oceans would be his biggest danger, but he is withdrawn, which makes it a little bit easier for Social Network. Places. Well, what do you think Social Network's dangers are, besides himself?
Yeah, obviously, probably it's got to be Cassius King. This horse has been finishing off very strongly on his last free start. I believe he loses his race at the start. He gives up so much ground, but he does finish off strongly. And the way that he's been finishing, looks like he'll appreciate this step up in trip to a 16.50. So I believe Cassius King the main danger. Yeah,
he's probably the second best horse in the race as far as form is concerned. Al-Hamd, well, he's been a little bit of a disappointment. If you remember, he came to Mauritius. He hadn't won a race, but 7 runs and 6 places, and you would imagine that you'd think that he would have won a race by now, but I suppose in this sort of field, this is by far the weakest he's ever going to be taking what he's taken on. So
his first time in 0-20, barrier 1, should give a good account of himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's run behind some decent horses. Secret Idea, Pop the Question, those weren't bad runs, and I think in this sort of field you have to respect that sort of form, but my reluctant choice is going to be Social Network, and I'm not having a go at Social, it's just that I know this horse, and I know that he's a type of horse that you're not always 100% sure if you're going to get a run for your money. But saying that, I think everything just looks like it's going to plan out perfectly for him. Yeah. So I'm going to stick with Social Network as my first choice. I'm not going to be rushing down to the bookmaker to have a bet, but Social Network will be my first choice. 7 Cassius King and 4 Al-Hamd. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I've got the same traffic as you. I can't see Social Network getting beat, to be honest.
Yep. Okay. Great. Well, that's race 1 done and dusted. Let's move over to race 2. 1400 meter benchmark 36, and one of my 2 to follows. I don't know if you a regular viewer of the show, the brass bell comes out after that terrific run last time behind Henry Tudor. We saw what Henry Tudor came out and done after this. He came out and won a 990 as easy as he liked, so that form's pretty strong. The brass bell, I think he lost his race at the start last. I wouldn't say he lost his race at the start. He was just sort of slow into stride, and at one stage at the 1000 he must have been about 5 lengths behind the second last horse, but he really finished that race off very, very well. And drawn 4, if he jumps a little bit better and Robbie's got him a little bit closer, I would imagine the brass bell must be a big runner in the second race. Any thoughts on the brass bell?
I do really like him, and I'm making my banker of the day actually. Like you said last time, he was really too out of the gates, too late out of the gates actually. He was 15 lengths off the leader, and I don't know if he dropped a bit or something. Robbie Fry was always pushing along with him just to maintain him with the leaders, and the way he turned wide into the final stretch and he was absolutely flying. He was only half a length behind Henry Henry Tudor, like you said, came out and won, and third that day was actually Tower of Wisdom, who also came out and franked the form last week.
Yeah, that's quite a strong form line, you're right.
That's why I'm going to go with the Brasbel as my banker. His main danger, I would believe, would be Tweak the Wind, but again, on the first meeting, these two met each other, and the Brasbel beat him, and that day the Brasbel didn't have an easy race. White and Wowing had to pull him 3 wide, and Tweak the Wind was on the inside, still managed to beat him, so I believe the Brasbel got an edge over him.
Okay, yeah, and if you go back to the 23rd of June, in fact, that day, Tweak the Wind finished just in front of the Brasbel, but the Brasbel was coming back after a 3-month layoff, so he probably would have just needed that run. So it looks like on form, the Brasbel is probably the one to beat. I also like Tweak the Wind. I think he's sort of just slowly coming back to hand. He did win in the beginning of the season, but it looks like he's just starting to regain that form. I did show you his work during the week as well. His work was pretty good. Third place, Galterra. Well, he was just behind the Brasbel last time. I think less than a length, or was it just over a length behind the Brasbel last time. Unfortunately, he's got an 8 draw, but I suppose with the emergency acceptor coming out, he's going to be drawn 7. Last time he jumped from gate 10, so he'd probably be a little bit closer this time. So I reckon you've got to respect the chances of number 4, Galterra, as well. 10, 6, 4 for me. Shaheel, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, actually, number 9 is going to be my third pick, Sarah's Secret. We found blood in his trachea last time, but it was a good run. He was only 4th, only a length behind Rock and Joldies. His penultimate run, his 2 last run actually behind Antwerp and Pride Rock was a really good one. Always finished close. Barrier 2 should be able to run the money. Yeah,
seriously, my only worry with Sarah's Secret is he's been off the track for 4 months, but I've been following him at training. I think Roger's given him enough work, and if he comes out fresh, he probably will run a good race.
I think these horses that are running fresh, we should keep an eye on them because it's the near end of the season, so keep an eye on those fresh horses.
Yeah, okay, great. So give us your trifecta before we move on.
Brasbel, Tweak the Wind, and Sarah's Secret.
Okay, great. That's the second race. Let's move on to race 3. It's a 1500 meter benchmark 41, and well, I liked this horse last time blowing the box. I thought he'd run a very good race. He ran a good second to Why Wouldn't You. In fact, only 3 runs in Mauritius, 2 of them been very, very good. His second run, maybe that second run syndrome caught up to him, but 2 good runs behind Why Wouldn't You, and I think I really think that Why Wouldn't You is going to sort of turn out to be a nice horse. So I think that form's pretty strong. Blowing the box, the stable's starting to find a bit of form as well, and I would imagine you have to respect the chances of blowing the box. I see you haven't got him as your first choice. Talk about your first choice, Shaheel.
I really like the newcomer Nordic Chant. He's been given a lot of time to prepare himself. Have many good gallops. I mean, I think last Friday he had one with I Travel Light. He's got some cracking South African form. He's run against horses. He's beaten Rocket Countdown, who's a very good horse. He's run against Taponov, the Guinness winner. He's run against Do It Again, the July handicap winner. He's drawn Barrier 1. I believe if he's 80% fit, he should be able to win this race. Okay, so you're a big fan of Nordic Chant. Yeah, I tell you, he has got some decent South African form. He did beat that horse Rocket Countdown, which is a top horse. Obviously, you know, these first timers, it always boils down to how they're going to react to Mauritian racing first time out, but he has got the form. I do agree with you, Shaheel. He has got some very good form. What about Down Under? He's been running in rating 51, some good races behind Act of Loyalty, Chili Con Carne, and even Aware. That's some good form as well. He's got 60.5. He drops from 51 down to the 41, and very consistent horses. Last time was a little bit of a, I would say, a disappointing run, but he only got beat. For him also.
Yeah, exactly, and he only got beat 2 lengths in the 1365. Back to the 1500. I think he must have some sort of chance as well. Who else do you want to talk about,
Bypass, actually. I mean, he's so consistent always, this little Bypass. Only the concern will be Barrier 10, but if Robbie Fried can settle him into a decent position, he should be able to run on from there. Yeah,
okay, I think like Shaheel says, Bypass, very consistent, hardly ever out of the first 2. In fact, 6 runs, 1 win and 4 places. He's only been unplaced once, and that was his first start, where it was, in my opinion, too short for him, but he has got that draw to contend with. But I would imagine if you wanted a jockey to deal with a bad draw, it's probably Robbie Fried. He's a great jockey of placing horses. He gets them into good positions, so Bypass you have to respect as well. I'm going to go Blowing the Box. I'm expecting a big run from the newcomer Nordic Chant, and then Down Under as well must have a big chance. What's your trifecta, Shaheel?
Nordic Chant, Blowing the Box, and Bypass.
Okay, great. Right, race 4, 1450 benchmark 46. Not an easy race, only 7 runners, but a couple of horses that can possibly pull this off. I'm going to start with number 3, Sky High Flyer. I think we can. I don't know if ignore his last run is the right sentence, because I don't know exactly what went wrong there. He was drawn 11 out of 11. He was near the back most of the way, but he only managed to run past 2, although he only got beat 5 lengths by Burke. He did step up to the 46, but I think he's capable of winning in 46 Skyflyer. Henry Tudor, Ocean Drive South, both have come out and won. So his form's pretty good, and I think maybe if you just sort of excuse him that one bad run, he definitely must have a chance in race 4. Any thoughts on Skyflyer?
Like you said, we don't know what happened last time, but his form prior to it was very good, and I believe there should be a good pace in this race, and he should be able to appreciate that. Barrier 7, I believe he should be able, he'll be left at the back again. If he can finish off from there, yeah, he's got a chance. Yeah,
definitely. There are 1 or 2 slower ones as well, so he might not even be at the back. He might. I think he's sort of good enough. I mean, if you look at those wins behind Ocean Drive South and Henry Tudor, he does make up quite a bit of ground at the end of the race, you know. So I'm a fan of Skyflyer in the 4th. I would imagine Riding Shotgun. He's a decent horse. I think he's better than what he's shown us. But a big betting drift last time from 3-1 to 9-1, and well, he didn't run a bad race. He only got beat a length and 3/4 once again by that horse. Sorry, that was a Purple Tractors race. I was thinking of Henry Tudor, but Riding Shotgun, I think he's decent, this horse, and I know he's not an easy horse to ride. I would imagine Heart of Darkness not going to make his job any easier either. So, what do you think of Heart of Darkness?
Exactly. I was just going to go back to Riding Shotgun. I went back on the 9th of June, actually. He raced against Ice Run, and Ice Run went to the front that day. He followed in 2nd position, and he settled nicely that day, and he finished 3rd, but there was only Gimme Green and Ice Run who finished in front of him that day. So, I mean, he can follow and fire, I believe, this horse. Heart of Darkness, I'll actually make him my value bit of the day. I mean, Riding Shotgun for me is the horse to beat, but Heart of Darkness, I've watched an interview of Shaheel Ayadassen yesterday. He said that Heart of Darkness is his best chance for tomorrow. If this horse can lead, I mean, the way he won last time, he just went to the front and he stayed on very courageously in the end. Heart of Darkness, if he gets an easy lead, should be right there.
Okay. I would imagine, who do you think is quicker, Riding Shotgun or Heart of Darkness? Who do you think is the quicker horse?
I believe probably Heart of Darkness.
Okay, so if Heart of Darkness goes off and leads, I suppose he must have a chance. Riding Shotgun, if he settles up in 2nd place, must have a chance. Skyflyer, my fancy. So the 4th race is quite tough. I mean, we haven't spoken about Rock on Geordie's. So Rock on Geordie's, heavily backed last time. They obviously fancied him strongly, 4-1 into 18-10, and he won as easy as he wanted to. In fact, I think that winning margin doesn't actually suggest how well he won. So Rock on Geordie's, he must have a chance as well. Even a horse like Mutsi, who he's run some good races behind Burke and Frenerick Questa.
Yeah, ignore that last one. He was drawn 10. This time he's drawn 1. If he gets a decent position, he will finish off strongly too. And
Shaheel, you'll notice that my homework, I worked out that he's 3 kilograms better off with Heart of Darkness, Mutsi, for okay, it was a 4-length beating, but he is 3 kilograms better off, and he's drawn 1 compared to that 10 draw. So at the end of the day, 4th race must be the toughest on the card, even though there's only 7 runners. I think if you are a pick 8 player, or a pick 6, or a pick 4 player, you're probably going to have to want to load the 4th race. It's not an easy race, and well, I imagine I'm going to load it. I know, Shaheel, you sort of you quite Riding Shotgun, Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm split between 2.
Okay, great. Okay, well, 4th race, tough race. Yeah. It does get a little bit easier, thank goodness. Right, 5th race. This is my value bet of the day. I Travel Light with JP van der Merwe in the irons. Just go and back and have a look at that form behind the Great One, Yankee Captain. Level weights with a horse like Table Bay. In fact, the Great One finished just, I think it was probably about a half a length in front of I Travel Light. Obviously, you can ignore his last run because he was found to have blood in his trachea, and I would imagine that he's been treated for that. He's back down to the mile. Look, he won the 1200, 1400s in South Africa, so I don't think the 1600 is a problem for I Travel Light. I think there's a lot of value at, well, I had a quick look this morning. I see he's trading at 10-1 or 1100 rupees, as they say in Mauritius, and I think that I Travel Light, I'm not making him a banker by any stretch of the imagination, but if he does run to that form of Table Bay and the Great One, I would imagine he must have a big chance in this field. It's a lot weaker than what he has run against. So I travel light. What do you think of my value bet? Do you think I'm onto something? Or?
Yeah, probably. But I'd just like to see him once more because he actually bled from both nostrils last time. I think that's quite serious. I'll just like to see him runs once more. He's got a massive weight to carry. I mean, the weather is still hot, so I think that's a bad thing for those bleeders. Let's wait and see what he does. I travel light. My first choice would be the right road. This horse has been impressing me since 2 weeks. His gallops in the morning are superb. Listen, last time he got beaten, he tried his best behind Aware. He was finishing off strongly that day, but I'm going to make him the horse to beat here.
Okay, so you like the right road.
Yes.
I think that this that the 1600 is going to suit him.
Yeah.
It just looks like he loses his races sort of just before they turn into to the straight.
Yeah.
When horses quicken up, he sort of just battles to quicken up. I know he did win what was it? He won a 1400.
Yeah.
Beat Racing for Fun, but I just think the mile's going to suit the right road a lot better than what he has been running. And then obviously Rapid Attack. Well, he finally got it all together last time, and the stable's hot in form. Manuel Nunes riding him. Like I've said to you, Shaheel, horses that they sort of take a long time to win. When they win, they sort of just gain a little bit of confidence, and I suppose you've got to keep an eye on Rapid Attack. Cool at Heart. Well, I've been following this horse for a while. Unfortunately, he is drawn 10 out of 10, and I actually only found out the other day that this horse is still a colt. So I would like to see. I suppose it's a bit late in the season to geld him now, but I think he'll be a better horse when he's been gelded. So what you're going to
even Seeking and Gingerbread Man, you can't ignore. I mean, Gingerbread Man, we got to ignore that last run. He was hanging in badly that day. I'm sure you've seen his work. He's looking much better. Gingerbread Man, probably a place chance. Even Seeking, he was your value bet I think last time over the 1850. He couldn't find the gap at the right time. This time drops to 1600 meters. Should have a place chance too.
Yeah. Okay.
Tough race this one too.
Yeah, it is a tough race, but I'm going with my value bet. I Travel Light. I think I'm going to put a couple of rupees on I Travel Light, especially at 1100. So he'll be my first choice to beat the right road and Rapid Attack third.
Or the right road, Rapid Attack, and Gingerbread Man.
Okay, great. Right, let's move over to the feature race. It's a 6 race. It's the La Imperial White Cup. It's a 1400 rating 55 plus. Only 8 horses go down to the start in this particular race. Do you think it's going to be a match race between the Gilbert Rousset runners?
I do think so, yeah.
Obviously, you've got to respect Robbie Frade's choice. He's decided to ride Cara, and look, we all know Cara's he's an absolute. He's a racehorse. He's a super. I mean, he's such. I mean, he's a 10-time winner from 22. You can't take anything away from Cara. And obviously, in this sort of race, he probably will be leading quite comfortably by himself, which he likes. We've seen him win a lot of his races from the front, and I would imagine he must be the horse to beat, Cara. But if you go back to that run, one other thing about Cara is obviously he did get beat last time, but I think he had quite a tough run in that Princess Margaret.
Yeah.
He ran a week later.
Back him up there.
Yeah, and probably just got the better of him in that last sort of couple of strides. But okay, well, he hasn't run. He's been off for a month now. Well, I wouldn't say off, but he hasn't raced for a month, and I would imagine he'd come to the course a little bit with more sort of oomph in his legs. And once again, you've got to sort of. If Robbie Frade's worked both of them on Thursday morning, he's obviously made his decision and he's decided to go with Cara. So we have to respect that. But Yankee Captain, if you go back to his last run on the 8th of September, which was the Princess Margaret Cup, he had level weights with Cara. He finished, what was just less than a length.
Yeah.
He's now 3.5 kilograms better off. So, and Yankee Captain loves the 1400. He's 4 wins in South Africa over 1400. I think all his wins in Mauritius have been over 1400, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
No, he won 1600. So 3 wins in the 1400. He loves the distance, and he obviously is going to be the biggest danger to his stable companion, Cara. Out of the two, who do you prefer?
I do prefer Cara, actually. I mean, like you said, we got to go with Robbie Frade's choice. He's worked both horses. I believe he chooses Cara because based on the circumstances of this race, like you said, there's no real front runner. Cara should have an easy time in front. The only concern probably will be the 61 kgs because the other horses are much lower in the weight. I mean, a horse like Split the Breeze, again, he has so much weight to give to Cara.
Yeah.
Do you think Split the Breeze can confirm?
I'm a little bit worried that he's dropping down to a 1400. He really got going late last time in the mile, and he sort of just collared Carrel quite late. I think the 1400, remember, he's going to be carrying 1 kilogram over as well, so he's got 54 kilos compared to the 52. And look, I'm not saying he can't do it, but I do prefer Carrel this time. I think the reason why Carrel got beat last time was purely on that hard race in the Princess Margaret, and I think he's going to come to the track a lot fresher this time. So
I do agree with you about Split the Breeze. I think the drop to the 1400 might not be the ideal distance for him. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go with Carrel too. Yankee Captain, like you said, back to handicap company, should be able to run a good chance. He's got a chance. The Gilbert Rousset stable fighting for the championship, 1-2 could be a nice thing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Third, I see I've peeped over to your book. I see you got the same third place as me, Ernie. We all know that he's very capable, Ernie. I think the 1400 will suit him better than the mile, although the mile was probably one of his best runs this year. So I think the 1400 is going to suit him a little bit better, and I'm not too worried about the draw, because I think that but I think lately they've sort of, maybe he's been racing a little bit too handy, and Ernie's a type of horse that likes to be just left alone, and I think he'll be finishing this race off pretty well. I'm going to make him my third choice. So my trifecta, 1, 2, 3.
Same for me too, 1, 2, 3.
All right, great. Okay, 7th race, 1850 benchmark 31. I did say, to me, it gets a little bit easier, and this will be my bank of the day, number 4, Power of Peace. I did fancy Karari Secret strongly last time. I think he was my bank of the day, if I remember correctly. He won, but this will surprise me. He gave him a lot of cheek. I thought Karari Secret would win a lot better, and in fact, he was unfortunate not well, he objected. When I say unfortunate, I mean obviously he objected. He thought there was grounds for objection, and it was dismissed. I think probably the right decision as well, but this horse just seems to be getting better and better. If you look at the South African form, one win was over 1600. I don't think the 1850 is going to be a problem for Power of Peace, and well, 2 runs in Mauritius, both 2 good seconds. I think he's going to finally be rewarded for those 2 seconds. Power of Peace, my banker. Any sort of thoughts on Power of Peace?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I remember on his debut on 1365, you did say that he's by dynasty, and these dynasties, they do well with distance and time, which probably is now his time and the right distance too. Last time, I think not the best ride from Dan Stackhouse. His reins got caught up when they turned in for home. He was wide on the track, but he did finish off very strongly that day, which may prove that the 1850 will suit very, very well. So Power of Peace, the horse to beat, yeah. Okay, your second choice? My second choice would be Mambo, actually. It was a good second last time, and I think he suffered from some kind of injury after the race when I look at the stats report. He also tries the 1850 for the first time here in Mauritius, but I went back to his South African form. He ran over 2000. He won a race over 1950, but he got objected that day, and they demoted him to the second place, so he stays the distance well too. Okay. Mambo to be the danger to Power of Peace. Okay, well that's interesting. I never knew that he actually won in 1950, because my question mark was stepping up to the 1850. I know he did win a 1600 in South Africa, but now that you're telling us that he did win a 1950 and he demoted with objection, so that's quite interesting. So Mambo, well, he obviously went over from with the distance, and Overdose, well, he just seems to be getting better and better as he's racing over further. Good run last time in the 1850. Behind that was Redline Captain. He's drawn 2. He's got that nice sort of galloping weight of 58.5. He ran in 36 last time. He comes down to 31, and the friend's an owner of mine, and I'd like to see Clergy back onto the track, leading in a winner. I know it's been quite a while since he's led a win in, so it'd be nice to see Overdose win, but I think it's going to be quite tough to beat Power of Peace. Okay, so I'm going to go Power of Peace, probably Overdose and Mambo. The other way around, Power of Peace, Mambo and Overdose. Okay, great. Right, that's the 7th race. Let's move over to the lucky last. It's the 8th race, a 1450, rating 0.25, and my good old friend Klopp is running here. I don't know, do you think he can pull it off? From that draw should be a bit hard. Yeah. But listen, he's been always so consistent. Look at his 2 last runs, always finishes in the money. He should be right there again, but for the win, I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, well, look, on form, if you go back on form, you got Manfred from the Ashes and Chap Trap, both of them finished behind him last time, but obviously there's a big turnaround in the draw this time. Yeah. He's going to be drawn 9 out of 10, and he's a sort of horse that likes to sort of be pretty well placed. So JP's got his work cut off for him to get him. If you can get him in a one-off position, get a cover, that should be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big striding horse. So
Yes.
I see they have tried to take him off to the front, but he didn't show anything that particular day. But I suppose on form he's the right horse, but the draw just puts me off a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you like? I suppose New Golden Age?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a gutsy win last time on the maiden day, actually. The 0.20, he won in 0.20, he moves up to a 0.25. His work on Tuesday was quite nice. He looks to be an up-and-coming sort.
Yeah.
He should have more in the tank, so yeah, New Golden Age should be
I think New Golden Age is better than a 24 rating, in my opinion. I think,
Probably, yes.
you know, I think if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, I think he came here. No, he didn't. He came here as I thought he came as a 2-year-old. That was Badawi.
Yeah.
New Golden Age, I just think he's a little bit better than his rating of 24. It's taken him a bit of time to win a race. So we did fancy him last time when he beat Anton Ruskin. Another horse maybe he's got a little bit of confidence, but getting stronger and sort of more mature, he must have a chance as well. And then from the Ashes and Chap Trap, not much in the form, especially behind Klopp. Which one do you prefer?
From the Ashes, actually, based on the Wednesday show when you said his work was absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Listen, Manuel Neisius is a very good jockey, like you said. He should be able to overcome that kind of draw, so from the Ashes probably for third.
Yeah, he's quite quick. I've seen that 1500 he led quite easily, so he's probably got a little bit more speed than Klopp. And I wouldn't be surprised if from the Ashes goes off to the front, and as we've seen this Manuel Nunes de Silva, when he gets to the front, he's a very good judge of pace.
And now looking at the card, I don't see him a real front runner, to be honest.
No, he looks like the only one.
Yeah.
So, and he's been to the front from a 7 draw. He's going to, I would imagine in a 14-50 he'd be able to do that again. So from the Ashes probably lead, and I think the 8th race is a tough race. I'm hoping to see my mate Klopp finally pull it off. I definitely won't be putting any money on him because he owes me so much money, Klopp.
That's
but he'd probably be my first choice purely on the fact that he's beaten from the Ashes and Chap Trap last time. But I've got a lot of respect for New Golden Age. I think he's better than his rating. So I'll go Klopp, New Golden Age, from the Ashes.
The other way around, Klopp, New Golden Age, and from the Ashes.
Okay, great. Okay, well that's it. My banker of the day is Power of Peace. My value bet is I Travel Light, and hopefully those two horses arrive for us, and then we make a little bit of money. What's your bank and your value bet?
My banker is the Brass Bell, and for value bet I do like a bit of Nordic Chant, but I think his favorite now, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with Heart of Darkness.
Did he open favorite, or has he been backed into favorite?
I think he's been back. I think he opened at 3-1, and now he's like 350 something.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Nordic Chant is Shaheel's value bet. Mine is I Travel Light. I think that if he's overcome his problem last time, I think he'll take quite a lot of beating. All right, well, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for joining us for our 29th meeting. Remember, on Wednesday we will be, we've got our show Jeu de Gallo. We will be talking about this meeting and showing you a couple of barrier trials and some workouts as well. Thanks again for all your support. Thanks for watching. Catch you up next time. Goodbye.